Uh-oh. There's people
Mhm.
here. It's
What?
Wednesday.
There are people here.
There are people here. And it's Wednesday. March
It is Wednesday.
16th? March 16th. Might be the
Yes, it
last
is.
might be the last show for the month. I mean, next week for sure. No, just so you know, Caleb, I'm out of town. First family
Right.
vacation in almost 3 years. And then the week after is sort of a question mark because I'm going to be down in Santa Barbara area working on the production. So here we are.
Same.
Good to see you. How are you?
I'm well. Apparently very laggy as of just this second.
Oh,
So
that'll
we'll see how
change.
that goes. At least on
And
here.
just
I'm
quick
doing all right. It's
Yeah,
just crazy around here. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
away with the family. It was really nice.
Good.
So it's always good to be back home. Also rough, going from playing with kids in indoor water parks and ski slopes and stuff to the Midwest. So how are you? How's
I'm good.
everybody in the chat?
Yeah, look, we've
And yourself?
got Wouter and Brandon and Wouter and 360 grads here. Good to see you. It seems like it's been a while since you've been here, sir. Yeah. So IO Digital. Yeah, it's good. It's let's get a drink out and then we'll talk about why
Let's do
Ben's
it.
not here. What are you having for today, Mr. Caleb?
Today, it's not
Bye.
Knob Creek. That's exciting, right?
It's not Knob Creek.
Today we are doing some Tin Cup.
Oh, very nice.
Doing Tin Cup. This is I'll turn it this way. I've had their bourbon before, and I thought I'd try out their rye, and it is delightful. Super easy to drink. So if you're not a big rye fan, you should try this one because it's really, really easy to drink. And yeah, so I'm excited to have a little bit of that and take a break from Knob Creek.
I'm a big fan of rye whiskey. Angel's Envy is one of my favorites, but there's some other ones.
Yes,
We might have spent a
it's
little
been a
bit too
while.
much on that for a while. Yeah. I am going to start with this, and if I don't like it, I won't continue to drink it. It's a Dewar's blended Scotch whiskey. It's Japanese smooth, whatever that means. So I'm going to try that Japanese smooth, but it's
I don't
cheap.
know about this, man.
It's cheap, man.
Dewar's and it's saying Japanese.
It's
so we're
Japanese
taking
smooth.
blended Scotch and Japanese.
Has a little bit of a tiny bit of a smoke on it. Let's see. Hold on. Cheers, Caleb. This might be
Cheers, my friends.
Cheers to everyone in chat.
And Ukraine, Ben, and
oh yeah, well yeah. It's what you would expect. There's a burn right here that's happening. Let's just talk about that. So while you enjoy yours, I might have to go get a different glass. Ben, by the way, our very dear friend,
yes,
is an amazing human being. And today, the reason that he's not here on the show is he is actually at the border of Poland and Ukraine, picking up 7 orphans and bringing them back to the Czech Republic. I don't know where he's taking them. It's nothing weird. They're orphans, and obviously with what's going on in Ukraine, it's so amazing. Just so that's why we don't have Ben here with us today. So I hope he's safe and he is well and he is doing amazing things. So
yes, awesome, dude, and that's good stuff. So we think and wish him well this evening, as he is amazing. What do we got here? 7.1 earthquake today. Woo! 360.
That was in Japan? No, there was one in Japan. But where are you? Where are you? 360. Now I know you travel.
Holy what?
What happened? What happened? Wait, hold on.
You just got a mega donation, or
oh my God, what's going on here, Chris? No, come on. Can you take a 0 away? This is insane. If we can get it to him, we can absolutely help Ben 100%. For sure. Okay.
Yeah,
cool. That is amazing. Thank you, Chris. And don't worry about your photos. And look, anytime you want to send stuff to photoclub at thec47.com, not just you, Chris, but anybody here on camera and Flask, and you just want to have a chat about stuff, I do not, state that I'm an expert in photography, nor am I going to do anything but have a conversation with you about it. But send them over, and don't ever be embarrassed about your work. The point is that we're sharing, we're learning, and that's the way it should be. Yes, the Japanese earthquake, because I saw Matt Allard posted something about it, so I hope everybody's okay there. Ben is the best.
Yes.
Yeah, great guy, great human being, very caring. It's not the first time he's done stuff like this, trust me. Oh wow, I better check in with Matt to make sure he's okay too. That's a pretty significant earthquake, a 7.1.
Yeah, it's a beast.
Yeah. Okay, well, here we are. We're going to do a part 2 on our black and white photography. We have 3 people for today. One of them just posted in the chat, Michael Schmidt, T and Final Cut Pro.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And we have Caleb, we have Wouter, and we have Michael, who are going to share some of their work today. And let's just talk about other things, Caleb, in terms of what may or may not be going on in the production world. Anything that you've seen that has been announced or released recently. I did get a notice that the GH6 is already available.
Yep.
Which is a huge
Mine arrived
surprise to
this
me.
afternoon.
Very nice.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, oh. I mean, they said it was going to be here March 15th, and March 15th came. I did see that as I pull up news shooter, not with 2 S's. Got to make sure you get that right. I did see that they had a struggle with they weren't expecting as many people to pre-order. So it seems that people, which, I feel like Canon and Sony, that's pretty standard, where it's just way more pre-orders than there are cameras.
Yeah.
But Panasonic, I feel like that's maybe not as common.
Yeah.
Otherwise, not too much. I know there's a bunch of stuff coming up soon. And of course, we have NAB around the corner. So there's that. What else was there? I know there's a Surays coming out with another anamorphic prime full frame. So we've got those on the way, a 75 to 9, 1.6.
And then the Laowa, wasn't there a 25 mil 0.95 that was just announced? Or there's something I thought I saw in News Shooter.
Oh, that is a oh yeah, it's not them. It's is it Midicon?
It is? I thought I saw something posted this morning. Maybe I'm wrong.
Cine, like a Cinema Zoom or Cinema Prime?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was Cinema. Let's see.
There's this guy. The Midicon Speedmaster 51.
The Laowa Argus 25 millimeter. It's a Micro Four Thirds. That's an MFT.
Right.
Apo. Okay. Got it. All right.
There is this guy, though. Let's see if I can pull this up here.
Why am I not? Here we go. Let's see. There we go. Boom. You bring something up?
Yeah, here we go. Once it loads. Come on.
Yeah, Wouter, I wouldn't be too worried at the moment.
Whoops.
1,000?
$1,000 for a 50 millimeter full frame T1 Canon EF Prime.
Interesting. I wonder once people start getting them if there's better and worse copies of the lenses.
Let's see. There's some sample images I've seen online. They're pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Very soap bubbly. Very shallow, even far away.
Looks like it has some character.
Yeah, definitely going for that. But like this on a low light camera, like look at that.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of some of my old Olympus Zuko lenses. Like that 55-1.2 I have is very creamy that way. Interesting.
We've got a PL version too. Yeah. So, interesting. Otherwise, I can't think of much. I think we're about to see a bunch of stuff hit. So,
Water, yeah, I wouldn't be too worried. You'll probably hear from your friend later on today. This is kind of when everybody's waking up in Japan and stuff. So hope that all goes well. 360 grad is $140 US, a good price for a Black Olympus OM10, including a 50. The answer is always yes and no. I mean, I think it's a fair price if it's a good, in good condition. The one that Caleb has, the body, I would say, is in excellent condition, and
yeah.
there's a few issues with the lens, not in great shape. So I would,
I always check for
fungus, balsam separation, which is really where the elements start to separate from each other. Fog or haze. They'll describe it both ways, essentially. And if they've got decent photographs of the lenses, then you should be able to see that pretty clearly. With some light coming through, you can usually see those problems. Yeah.
That's the big one is almost no one does that when they sell a lens is shine a light through it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty nuts what happens. I wish I had that lens right next to me to be able to show it. But
the OM, the one that came with the OM10.
I don't know if this will. Whoops, because that one had some mad crazy. I mean, you can see the dust and stuff too. Let's see. I don't know if this is gonna work. Probably will.
Yeah,
see how you can see all that
Yep.
dust in there.
Yep. Yeah.
So this is my clean copy.
Right.
And you can see there's a decent amount of dust. Which
so
dust doesn't really freak me out.
No, but fungus. Yeah. And the balsam separation is a big problem. I mean, you really have to ask a lot of questions if you need to ask for additional photographs. It's really the reason why I almost only buy equipment from Japan. I've mentioned this on other shows because they tend to rate cameras properly. Some resellers tend to be pretty good about how they rate their cameras and their lenses as well. Just be careful. The one that I got, Caleb, that you have, that was being sold by somebody who was not a camera person. They bought it from somebody who took really good care of it, but obviously that lens was in the right place and started to get some fungus.
And for those who didn't know, I mean, this is how good they took care of it. This is the original strap.
Right, which is insane. I mean, it's just
look how clean that is.
And this was bought in the 80s. So, I mean, it's, that's like dentist hobby type cleanliness. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So just ask for more photos and all that fun stuff. So hopefully,
and if I know you don't, you're fine with this 360, but when in doubt, if you just want a really clean, excellent copy and don't want to worry about it, I know some people don't like them, but I like and have purchased a lot from KEH.com.
Yes, they rate well.
They have an incredibly strict. So if you're like, I just want the best copy there is, then you go to them and you buy their EX Plus, and you're done. It's guaranteed to have like no optical flaws and stuff like that. You're gonna pay a little more, a couple percent points more, but then you don't have to worry about
it. Wilder thought the dentist comment was funny. It's true. It's like financial people and doctors, and they get these itches. I can't tell you, this more than one person in my life that has flown to, like New Jersey where I used to live, and I would train them on using cameras and stuff for 3 days. And it was just the hobby. And they're like, I'm going to make a documentary film. And a year and a half later, can you tell me about this camera? I think I want to upgrade. Never shot anything. It's just all about the equipment, and all that fun stuff. Travis says, in an effort to curb film spending, I'm about to buy a Fuji X Pro 3 and some T Artisan or Mica MF glass ahead of a trip to Disney World next month. I picked up an A7S last week. Am I insane? You might be insane, Travis. I don't know if you are, but I know you have the bug for sure, and I know you buy stuff. I don't know. That sounds like a pretty cool. The X Pro 3 is definitely its own unique camera.
Super cool camera.
It is a super cool camera. It's not for everyone. I really think of it as a camera for stills photographers, even though it obviously has video features. I don't know. I go through phases. I mean, I'm I'm going to Arizona on this trip, and I'm bringing the X100V or 5, which obviously is essentially a 35 millimeter equivalent. Plus, it has digital zoom for 50, 70. It has built-in ND and into the camera, which is pretty cool. And I'm just bringing that, and I'm bringing the Olympus XA with me as a stills camera. I'm going to keep it really simple and just go for it. And sometimes you got to do that. I don't want to. Jess will probably bring my wife probably the the Canon and a long lens. So I feel like that's a good thing.
Some of my favorite photos were with a Fujifilm. I think it's an XT 2 or 3. But I would love to get in like an X Pro or one of those smaller Fuji cameras. I don't care if it's older, but some of those and just a couple of like Russian primes or older lenses. That combination is really fun.
Yeah.
Getting just some old rangefinder lenses on a Fuji camera, really nice.
Yeah. Water. Hopefully the audio is better now. I turned down my my headphones. There's a little comment there. So yeah, I think you go for
Michael
it.
Schmidt going all German, as he should.
Oh, I love the Batis
Zeiss,
lenses are great.
some Batis, excuse me.
Yeah, those are the Zeiss. Batis lenses are great. I have a couple for E-mount. Hey, nice image. Definitely Zeiss, a little clinical, but still very nice. You can do a lot with it in post. They make some character
That
lenses
51.4
too.
ZE. It's a goodie, a good one.
Who's the one who said that they broke their camera and they're going to get it fixed? Somebody said that up here. Oh, it's Chris. The fun thing about film photography is making the decision to fix a camera or try to find another. I broke my camera during the challenge, but I love it, so I'm fixing it. Yeah.
Nice.
Have you tried these Earth brand adapters? URTH? I haven't heard of them.
I have not.
Okay. I don't know who Gem is with a G, but I'm gonna go to Grand Canyon, Sedona, maybe some Flagstaff. Going to check out a college down in Phoenix. Not for me, obviously. Yeah, Pat's here. Welcome, another Oregonian. I guess I've been here for almost 5 years. I gotta start saying at least it's part of it. I'm here, so. What are you gonna do? Cool. All right. Anything else? So let's just before we get into the challenge stuff, because both you and I have very hard outs at the hour today.
Yes.
What do you think about NAB? And I don't mean whether or not the show is going to be good or not, but
right.
Who do you think we're going to see some goodies from? I mean, do you think the big boys are going to and girls are going to come out with some stuff?
That's a good question. Well, let's think about this. Let's break this into categories, shall we?
Wait, hold on. I have to say something to Pat. Pat, you're right. I'm not local yet. I used to have this viewpoint that if somebody wanted to call themselves a New Yorker, it's a decade. Because everybody's a transplant except for diehard, like Irish, Jewish people that, multi-generational. Right. But so many people who, I don't care, Brandon, it's totally cool. Most people are, they're transplants. So I'm going to say a decade. So I got another 5 years, and it's not like I'm itching to say I'm an Oregonian. I do love where I live though. And sometimes you just have to accept. So I'm sorry. Go again, Caleb. NAB.
Oh, NAB. Like lighting, aperture usually comes out with a couple things. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Otherwise, I feel like there's like 500 cinema lenses coming out.
Yep.
In fact, yeah. This and next month, I would pay attention if you're really into cinema lenses on the budget end. Pay attention because the next couple of months it's going to be unbelievable.
Bonkerzoid.
And bonkers. It's going to be more bonkers. We've got cinema camera wise. I mean, Canon, that C50 whatever rumor thing that's going around. I don't know.
Yes.
I haven't really honestly read that stuff, so that could be interesting. But otherwise, from Sony, the big boys, what do you think, Jem? Do you think we're going to see anything?
I don't know. I mean, the big
Panasonic's
surprise
done.
would
I don't know what they're
be,
doing, but maybe.
is Panasonic going to take some of this tech that they've been putting into their mirrorless? I don't think so.
No.
There's no rumblings right now. Hey, Shazam. Canon, maybe, but I have no intel on that. And Sony, I don't know. I mean, at the moment when I look at their lineup, it's pretty strong. You know, they'd have to come out with something that would almost replace what they have right now. And with the 3, 6, and 9, are they going to do that? I don't
Yeah.
know.
No,
I
they're in
would just
such a good
firmware it.
place right
I
now.
mean, they're in a good place. Rode is teased that they're coming out with something soon. So I don't know what that is for sure. But, you know, the question is anybody going to do anything big? It would be a good time for Arri to come out with this new sensor. But, you know, with the chips shortages and everything else that's going on in the industry, and the fact that that LF camera is selling like hotcakes, both in full-sized
Yeah.
and mini, what's the point? You know, it's not, they've solved the resolution issue that was preventing them from being Netflix approved and Amazon approved and all that stuff, right? They've got that sorted out. So do they really need to do that? Probably not.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we might be waiting another couple of years for that, but maybe we'll see what happens.
Andrew says FX3 with actual video tools. I think they should do an FS3 and they should update their whole FS line.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do an FS3. So, like, essentially do what they did with the FX3, but
Mm-hmm.
a 10-bit crop sensor, small body. Let's do an FS5 Mark III. Would that be? With an updated, essentially take the FX6, essentially take the FX line 3, 6, 9, and do FS versions, crop sensor, or Super 35, slightly lower price, and boom.
Yeah.
Go after C300
Mm-hmm.
and 200, you know,
Yep.
C70, etc.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
And then there's Black Magic.
Black Magic, haven't heard anything.
Yeah,
yet.
it's funny. Yeah, we're mind melded.
When did the 6K? Yeah, we definitely
they're
have
kind
mind
of
melded.
they're kind of due. They're kind of due for a new camera, in my opinion. You know, what would that be? I don't know.
Fresh. Yeah. February 2021 is when the 6K Pro came out, and that was their last camera announcement, I believe.
I'd love to see them moving to a different form factor. I know we're beating a dead horse here, but
I know, yeah.
That's that would be nice. You know, they have a great ecosystem right now. If they,
anyone wants 6K Pro, let me know.
I mean, they could kill it if they got AF in there. I mean, with their A10 minis and remote production and, you know, event and live production.
Yeah.
They could own that. It's not that nobody else would be in the space, but when you talk about, you know, corporate, you talk about church applications, all these multicam, live stream, live event, you know, even ISO recorded stuff. I think that Black Magic could push into that space even more. What?
Yeah, be cool to see a A10 Mini 4K line.
Yeah, or a Ninja Star 4K, which I've been waiting for like a decade.
Yeah,
Speaking of a decade.
But recently I've been thinking like, man, I have an A10 Mini set up at my main set, so I can control what shows up on a monitor. And I was like, I'd love to be able to plug an SSD and just record all the cameras at a low bit rate just as a backup. But it's only 1080. But 4K would be pretty slick.
Yeah.
So that could be interesting. Or maybe not streaming 4K, but just recording 4K.
Yep. Yeah.
I could see them totally. I mean, they've got such a great setup. They're really getting it done over there. It's wild. If you think about Black Magic, like as a whole, not to turn this into the Black Magic show, but resolve, insane what they're doing
Yep.
over there.
Yep.
Camera line is flushed, like 12K, all these pocket cameras, the G2, for a company that's not a camera company, pretty impressive stuff.
Yep.
They've got the switcher line that's just insane right now. The Pro
Insane.
line and the
Insane.
A10 Minis line, it's
Yep.
outrageous.
Sorry about that, kids.
And all the stuff they're doing over there is just wild, wild, wild.
I agree.
EVA 2, absolutely, Brandon.
Yeah, whether it actually shows up, probably not, but it would be nice.
We need a Scion 2, I think.
Along with the original Ursa, let's bring that back.
AF 300. Yeah, Ursa.
Yeah.
Do they still call the Mini Ursa Mini? Are they still Ursa Minis? Actually, like the current Ursa, is it an Ursa Mini?
It is. I believe it's still called an Ursa
Do you
Mini.
think that's amazing that they've named their main cameras based off of a complete beast that busted?
Yes.
Unless it was used. Do you think people actually used it?
More than the Scion. I mean, the thing that was ridiculous about the Scion, what?
No, it's a Blackmagic Ursa broadcast. So they just quietly just dropped the whole Mini.
Oh, finally. Okay.
Well, that's the broadcast. Let's see what their other.
No. The Ursa Mini, isn't it called the Ursa Mini G2?
Ursa Mini Pro 4.2, 4.6 G2 Ursa Mini Pro.
Is that enough things? Wait, can you read that title again? It's the what? Ursa Mini Pro.
Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro 12K. And there's a Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro 4.6K G2.
That one. That's
just about as bad as the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro.
Yes. Come on. Or BMCC blah 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 blah.
Oh, that junk.
Even the acronyms are forever. It's like 6 letters to describe the camera.
And then you try to describe the old cameras and you just can't. Like
no.
BMCC. Like the OG.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, for Pixel Peepers, some of my B-roll from my last video was shot on that.
Nice.
Blackmagic Cinema camera.
Yep.
The opening shots. Fun times.
All right, we're getting abbreviations here.
That's
all right.
It's getting out of control.
Okay, so should we do some photography? What do you think? I think it's time. All right, so we've got three people this week. Caleb Pike, we have Michael Schmidt, and we have Wouter. How do you pronounce your last name? You're making it hard for me, sir. But I will show everybody your name, and we'll go through this. I've got some descriptions from both Michael and Wouter about their projects, and then, of course, Caleb, you can talk to yours. Alphabetically, you go first, just because it's P, and then it's S, and then it's W. Before we get into your stuff, what was your experience like? A
lot of fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I forgot to wind the film multiple times. So, you get your shot and click. Oh,
I do that.
Kidding.
Yep.
I enjoyed it. The results of all the shots I got, there were probably, however many actual shots that took a photo. I want to say 4 or 5 shots that are actually usable.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about some of the issues I had.
Okay.
And so my main interior shot didn't work out. So I kind of have 2 other. Well, one was interior, but is well lit. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed it.
It was good. Okay. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't do this thing it did last time where it kept muting, but it probably will. So I'll go to the next slide and then I'll unmute. I forgot about that. So let's go ahead and do it. Here we go.
All right.
I think you can hear us both, which is good. There we go.
Yep.
So Olympus OM10, Zuko Auto S50, you use your copy, not the one that the camera came with. And you shot on, this is basically the camera you shot on here. Oh,
right.
Is that yeah, there, it's still working. And film stock, the good old Ilford XP2 Super, which you can process C41 color, so that's the advantage of that. Pretty tight film grain too on that. It's a pretty it's pretty pretty tight one there. And then let's go ahead and should we look at we call the inside one your interior, right? You look at that one
Right.
first. Okay, let's go ahead and
Is the
take a
only one
look
that
at that.
turned out, kinda.
Okay, yep. So there you go. Boom.
Nice crooked eye line. I must
Nice
have a
space.
crooked eye because all my shots were just hair off the same direction. So I don't know what's up with that.
You don't think it's camera
Got
height?
to get that looked at.
It
It
might
could
be
be. It was
camera
kind of a
height.
weird. Well, maybe. I mean, you can see the trim at the top, but this is a room that me and my family love and use a lot. Gets a
Yeah.
lot of love in this room. A lot of kids drawing, painting, dogs tearing around. So I thought I'd just kind of get a photo in the light. If this was color, this would be stunning because it was this golden light, kind of red gold light coming through that window there.
Yeah.
Toward the end of the day, this is facing west. This room. So snapped a shot, and I got a lot of shots. I decided to do this at 1.8, or no, I think it was f2. So you can see that one share is slightly out of focus.
Yep.
And yeah, aside from the crookedness, I thought it turned out well. A little overexposed for the windows. So I did get my film. I want to try scanning myself just to see how far you can push this stuff.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting to mess around with. But that's the first shot.
Yeah, I like the shot, and what I also like about it, besides the composition, is it has a lot of dynamic range in terms of from blacks to whites. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of you can see into the shadows there, and then the window. That's what I'm learning about all of this stuff is that there is for sure less dynamic range than some of the digital cameras now. In terms of how far you can push it. And I've been getting my stuff professionally scanned, and even then, there's sort of a breaking point in terms of are you exposing for highlights, are you exposing for the shadows? What do you really want to be able to do? But this has a really nice range, so I like that shot a lot. Moving on to we'll call it exterior shot, I think.
Right.
Yep, here we go. Boom. I love this shot. And it has so much life to it. And did you adjust anything in terms of the contrast on this at all, or is this just sort of brought
I haven't
right in?
touched it. So this is
Okay.
this is the JPEG that I was sent. And by the way, for those who are just curious, I use the dark room
Yeah.
to process all this. So they sent the film back, and I didn't give them any instructions. Here's the film, and this is what they came up with. So it's a lot more low contrast.
Yeah.
And I believe the lighting was fairly harsh that day. So that's one thing I talked with Jim about, and you'll see an example of kind of two different shots that look very different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't touched any of these photos. This is just what they sent me.
Yeah. And looking at this,
yeah,
we obviously see quite a lot of
very different.
contrast. And
Yeah,
I'm kind
get
of
to that.
wondering if the person who was processing your film was actually making decisions for you. Because it's all the same film stock, right? And of course,
Sure.
you're exposing it
overall.
slightly differently and all of that, but
Right.
yeah, it is very different. I did also notice I've never processed anything through the people you're using, but there was some specks and dirt on the film, so I don't know how well they treated that. It wasn't bad, but if you look at this shot close up, there's a couple of places where you can see some stuff. There's one part where it's like a little bit white, like there was something on the film when they actually scanned it. So just look out for that. Not just you, but anybody in general. Yeah. But I really like this shot.
Woman, yep. She leaned
What?
back. She's a 4-year-old, incredibly active. So, it's almost impossible to get a clean shot. But I like the way it turned out where her hair is in focus. Just
I
adds
love
a
it.
little more.
Yeah. I think it has a
interest
lot of
to it.
character. And I love center framing like this. And quite honestly, if
Shot
even
wide
if you,
open,
yep.
obviously.
So you're at a 1.8, and if you push this just with slight contrast, like a little bit of an S curve, it could be really, really fun and just pop a little bit even more. But I really like this a lot, so it's cool. Okay, let's go ahead and move
and then
on.
we'll quickly blow through these, like the issues I had or questions I had. I told Jim I had several questions.
So here's
this next
two.
shot,
Yeah.
yeah. There's 2 shots, 2 different exposures. I believe that's one of the things about shooting film is I have no idea which is which. And I don't know which one was overexposed and which one was, correctly exposed. Because I never went under, always over. So if you go to the next one, it's super washed out. It kind of makes me. It looks like that one of my daughter, where it's real flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even in if you look at the corners of her mouth, they're pretty dark.
Yeah.
And under her coat there.
Yeah.
So those black levels are lower than everything else. So I didn't know what the deal is. I wonder if they just use the same scanning settings across all of them.
I don't think so.
That's how it turned out, but I don't know.
I mean, I was looking at these photographs when you sent them to me, and while there's definitely less detail in the sky in this one, when you're looking at it on a decent monitor, you can definitely see detail in the sky. Yeah. And I don't know. Hey, James, I still think that whoever was behind this stuff was tweaking, is what I think, Caleb.
Sure.
Honestly, I really do think that they were making some decisions, which is good and bad.
Definitely paid attention.
Yeah,
I got an email saying, "Hey, you check this box," and honestly, I don't recommend that style of processing for this film. And I'm like, "Great, you do what you think's best."
Yeah,
so they weren't just like a machine,
which is good. And then you also had these issues, which I've run into with frames before. And they weren't the first and last frames, right? They weren't your last and first frames of the roll.
Throughout the whole roll, I had stuff like this.
Yeah. I had one particular roll that I loaded up into my Olympus camera, not the XA, but the OM, the 4Ti. And I had the same exact thing. And I was like, I must have totally screwed something up. And then I put the next roll in and had it processed and no problem at all. But, yeah. So, and I want to remember what type of film I used for that. It might have been XP2, which is what you shot on, but I don't know. Andrew said it seems like when overexposed, it gets more contrasty. Very odd. Yeah, I still think they're making decisions for you, which again is good and bad, depending on how
maybe it was
connected.
Incredibly under or over, and that's just what they had to do to get it to whatever kind of standard they use for proper exposure.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if they went up or down.
Yeah. So. I get, Chris says, I get these when the film doors open briefly, laughing out loud. I don't think that was the problem. Come on, you're kidding me. But, all right, cool. Good. So let's move on to any other things you want to bring up about this?
No, I just have no idea what that white is all about, and hopefully it doesn't happen again, I guess.
Yeah. Do another roll. We're going to have more of these.
Yep.
So, yeah, cool. All right, we got Michael coming in from Germany. He shot on 2 different cameras, the Canon MC and the Nikon F80i, and Kentmere Pan 400 film and Ilford Delta 3200. The Kentmere Pan 400 was rated at 400, and the Delta 3200 was rated at 1600, which I've done before, and I like the results. Michael says, hey mate, hope you are well. Nothing really special. I don't totally agree with that, but sadly the AF and or shutter speed exposure for the more interesting shots did not work out too well. Point and shoots are not the best for close focus, which is very, very true. I agree. I have that issue with the Olympus XA. I have 2 photos with the Canon MC on Kentmere Pan 400 at ISO 400. One outdoor on a cloudy day in a dark corner of an old industrial complex with a bell tower. The second is bright daylight indoor in an old transformer station, an empty beer bottle in the window, just a random shot. Third photo is low light indoor with the Nikon F801. I'm sorry, not I. And the Sologar 19-35 f3.5 at 19 mil on the Ilford old transformer station that is not in use anymore. I also have 2 shots of the cameras I used, and I thank you for that because I didn't have to go looking for them, Michael. So here we go. First shot on the Canon MC, which is this camera here, and then the other camera you shot on is the 801. So that's your film stock, sorry. And there's that shot over by the window. I read them in the
Nice.
wrong order. Very nice. Second is bright daylight indoor, old transformer station, and empty beer bottle in the window. And what I really like is you see that little bottle cap, and there's, I think, a cigarette butt in there. And that helps tell the story. And if you look at the image too, there's cobwebs and all of that stuff really adds character. I really like the hard light coming in. So yeah,
I love it.
nice, nice shot. Yep.
I
Nice work,
really
sir.
enjoyed hard light and film because the film just softens it up in a way that digital like never can. Super nice.
Yeah, totally. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, and this is with like a little point and shoot, which is, I really do love shooting on that Olympus XA. I'm always surprised, even though the viewfinder drives me insane. I'm surprised at how much I like the photos that come out of that camera. It has a very nice, sharp lens. Yeah, me too. Love that cigarette butt. Here we go. This one I really like too. So this is really cool. So this is also on that little
Oh,
point and
nice.
shoot. Yeah, I think this is, right? Or did I do it wrong? Did I screw this up, Michael? Hold on. Let me look at the third shot here. No, this is, I think I got it right. So this is the low light interior with the 801. Make sure I got this right, Michael. Yeah. So this one is still with the MC. Make sure I'm right there. I really like the composition of this. It makes you work a little bit when you're looking at this photo, which is a good thing. And then we have this other one with the 801. I think I got that right. I'm pretty sure. Yep. So very, very cool. And this one, I'd be interested to know, Michael, if you were handheld. And
that is bang on
right.
those lines.
That's why I'm
Bang
asking.
on, man.
Yeah, tell us. Come on, Michael. I got it right. This one right here is this the MC? No, this is not the MC. This is the 801, right? So let me know if you're on sticks for this or handheld. And if you can remember, where you stopped down. Oh, no, you weren't. You were at a f 3.5 at 19, which makes sense. Yep. Mm-hmm. Good. Very, very nice. All right. We move on to the Wouter.
Wow.
Yeah, we get some nice comments here. Yep, handheld. You bastard.
Boom. Skills.
You must be young. Cause come on. You're shooting a 3.5 on that. I know it's a wide lens, but I'm still giving you credit for that one. Nice. Had a few shots. Yeah, all right. I'll give you. You still get a thumbs up. Mm-hmm. All right, Wouter, let's go. Attached are my photos and some of the details and descriptions. Since some folks did honorable mentions, I decided 2 of each would perhaps work best. Good for you, Wouter. Shot on Ilford XP2 Super 400, rated at 400, and then a Minolta Dynax 300 SI with kit lens 35 to 70 millimeter zoom, which is a 3.5 to a 4.5. So that's the Dynex camera right there. The camera was my mom's camera around the time the first digital cameras came out. She got one of the 1.3 megapixel. It's so ridiculous now. Digital cameras because it was more convenient and way lighter. So I was given the Minolta. Thanks, Mom. The last time I used it was in 2007. Wow. So it's been a good 15 years. So it was fun to start using it again. I also bought some Portra 400 and XP5, which I'm very fond of, and I'll use in the coming time. This was my first time shooting black and white film. Awesome. Scanning was done with a pretty cheap scanner. Let me show everybody that one right. Just give me a second, everybody. So this is actually scanned by you on a cheap scanner. So I guess you had the film processed and you did your own scanning. Also tried the photographic capture method using a compact camera, Panasonic LX7, and Ghetto light table made with a film light. Oh, you use a cheap scanner, and this is the film ghetto light table. Cool. On a photo frame with panes of glass and sandwiched in between a stack of Fresnel lens foil diffusers from an LED laptop monitor and a negative on top. Whew, that is brutal, but well done. So here we go. Let's get to it. There's your film stock there. You shot, I think these are all XP, right? And then here we go. And then boom, first picture. So this is blossom, a close-up of some tree blossom I saw on a walk with my family. Bright daylight, scanned using the photo capture method that I am still working on. Very cool. Like it very, very much. And I like that you're seeing the entire film there. And then the second image that we have is a canal. I passed this canal on my commute to work in the morning around 10 a.m., shot against the sun, overexposed semi-deliberately, not knowing if it would work, but it was worth the experiment. I like the vibe of it, even if it's not perfect. Yeah, cool.
Nice.
Very nice. Then we have these next two shots I like very much. Low light, number one, is a bridge. I passed this bridge on my way back home from a late workday with just the glow of the sky. Sun had gone down 30 minutes prior. Wow.
Wow.
You're shooting this at a 400?
Where in the
What's
world
going
is this?
on? Yeah, what are you doing here? I guess I must have made some adjustments. You can see it's very contrasty. That is a very interesting bridge. I don't know where you are, Wilder,
Yeah.
but that's
Love
pretty
the
cool.
cubed frames.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, process externally. Got it. Good. So that one's really cool. And then here's this other one. This next one is a lake. This was the view behind the bridge of low light shot. I love all of the ducks and geese. So I guess if you turned around 180 degrees, you would see this from that bridge. So boom, and then there's the water. Boom, there's that shot. Very cool.
Nice.
Definitely has a vibe to it, for sure. I would say that's my favorite. Just so interesting. And the person center frame there kind of does it for me. And then seeing their reflection in the water.
Bookending with the trees on either side.
Yeah, yep. Very nice. But here we go again. Blossoms, very, very nice shot. I like the vibe of this one for sure. But this is the one that does it for me. And that's beautiful. Just, kind of tranquil, serene. But a little bit of motion there on the, on the foliage
Capture
in the foreground too. Yeah.
Yep.
Wondering if that's from camera movement, shutter speed, because
depending on what the stop or what it was shot at.
Yeah.
It's a lot of foreground. Close.
Yeah, a lot of foreground, and then you see the birds are in focus. So very, very cool. Dark mood vibe. Here we go. So there you go. So we got 3 more.
Boom.
And always good to share this stuff. So I think all in all, we were just under 10 people, right? Did we do 5 or 6 last time? And then we had 3 this time.
Gothic ducks, Andrew says.
Yeah, you got to do it, Linda. Break it out. Let's do the film camera. We're going to do more of these. Gothic ducks. Yeah, it's funny. I would say we're going to continue to do this. And I'm definitely going to be shooting on my trip. And then I think I'm going to get this Flickr group going so we can share photographs a little bit more easily. We'll definitely do another challenge. I think next time we'll go color because that has its own challenges. And then that's the thing that's so frustrating for me, Caleb, is like that shot in that room in your house. You're like, it would have been baller if you had, you were shooting color. And so there's all of these things that are character based about it. But then if you're shooting on a digital camera, you just shoot it and then you can process it any way you like. But remember last week we had some really great photographs. Travis, I believe, who had to shoot color because that's what he had to do for the low light stuff and then convert it to black and white. And that's also, very much something that you can do.
Yeah.
You get good scans of your color film, you can do a lot. Andrew said it looks like a Joy Division cover. I was just listening to Joy Division the other day. That's funny you say that. And it is, man. That is some dark souls over there. Well, one in particular. So I'm showing my age, but what are you going to do?
That's funny. So I have 2 challenge ideas I just thought of.
Go for it.
Off the top of my head, one was thanks to Linda. So Linda says, you guys are inspiring me to bust out my film cameras. And then she says, "Thsi, challenge accepted." Her film cameras? Oh, so she does have some. Okay. I was thinking it'd be interesting and you guys have already talked about this a little bit, but it'd be kind of interesting for you to do a YouTube video talking about, I don't know, three different film camera lens and film kits you'd recommend for starters.
Mm-hmm.
So like 3 different cameras, 3 different lenses for those cameras, 3 different films.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of interesting.
Yep. I've been thinking about that.
Channel.
Yep.
Or start a new channel called Between the Scans with Jem Schofield.
Between the Scans. Or something like that. Oh my God.
As the shutter, as the crank, as the rewind wheels turns with Jem Schofield.
It's like a soap opera now. I have thought about that, I mean, I have thought about it. It can be polarizing, but I think you've got to have a point and shoot in there.
Right.
You definitely have to have, 1 or 2 interchangeable lenses, and you can go SLR and rangefinder. So there's some fun stuff. And I've had a little bit of a journey over the last few months in regards to that.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then I think film stocks too. It's, it's really tough. It's really tough to take photographs of the same thing. Obviously not in the same camera just because of the way film works, but you could set up 3 cameras with the same focal length, with 3 different film stocks. But the character of that photograph is determined partially by the film stock, but also the lens, and the manufacturer to a degree. I don't know. What was your other ideas?
The other one is for the 3 of us to do a challenge. I just thought of one, and it was thanks to Michael. He was talking about those lenses he bought, and I was thinking it'd be interesting to, I don't know. It's a pretty simple one, but it could be fun to pick a budget.
Yeah.
Go to eBay and just see what gear we can find for that budget. Anything.
I'd love to do that.
So let's say you've got $1,000.
Yep.
And you're just gonna hop on eBay and one weekend or one day just see what you could get. Could be anything, and just see what kind of random stuff you can find. Part of it, I was thinking earlier, I found a A7S II that someone was selling for an A7S1 price. Clearly, this guy had no idea what he was doing with.
Yeah.
And he just Googled, I think he just Googled A7S to see what they were going for and listed it for that. So you just never know. But you never know. If I hadn't looked that day,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Cassie, come on. So it's between 2 frames instead of between 2 ferns is what I got to do. I was just watching a blooper reel of Between 2 Ferns the other day where he was just cracking people up, his guests. It's between 2 frames. And what is this? Somebody else said, as the manual focus lens turns.
As the lens turns. I thought
Brains of our lives.
There's a channel on YouTube that does shorts. And it's as the wrench turns, and it's a mechanic. He just shares random stuff. He's like, guy comes in, it's car's making noise, and I put it up and I see this, and it shows like most of the axle just hanging off of the car. Just this crazy stuff. And he's like, another episode of As the Wrench Turns.
That's ridiculous.
It's good.
I like all of those ideas. I think we should do some film photography challenges. I think it would be a lot of fun. And I might even bust out a few dollars and buy something else just for the heck of it.
Or one we haven't done before is a buying challenge that isn't Wish. So I don't know, $30, $40, $50, and buy a vintage lens. Just see what we can get.
Yeah.
Give ourselves a couple weeks to scour eBay and see what we can score, and then take a photo with it or something.
Yeah, I think you got to do something with it, which is definitely is a part of it. So I think we should start thinking about that.
See, you can milk it. One episode is what you found. One is what
And
you
then I'll send you some things, and you can tell me how to make a good thumbnail, because that's, there's a lot of things I'm not good at. Thumbnails is one of them. So there you go.
Gotta sell your soul to YouTube.
Anybody else here? Scott coming in strong at the end here. Mine have been hanging out since the beginning. It's been a while, but anybody else have any
Scott?
other?
Good to see ya.
Yeah. Any other ideas? Anybody for challenges or other content coming up? Again, no show next week for sure, and then I'll let you know about the week after, depending on how things go. But my guess is we're off for a couple of weeks. Anybody? Small brown fox. We're not on early. What are you talking about? The clock's changed. Oh yeah, the clock's changed. I forgot about that.
You just realized that?
No, I know the clock's changed, but based on Small Brown Fox's comment, he says, "Oh, you're on early," so I don't think their clocks have changed. So I think that's the problem.
Yep, international. That's what happens when you're an international superstar, Jem. People don't,
How many people are on here? Like 3.5 people right now. I'm like a half a person because I'm so short. So it's like 3. There's me, you, and there's like 1.5 people here. Hey, Scott, we'll live stream with you.
People are watching right now.
Yeah, right. Maybe a short 10 to 15 second video clip challenge. Maybe a light an interview challenge. That'd be kind of fun too. Or light a portrait if we're going to do photography. Light a portrait. Break it down. There's plenty of tools to show people how you do that stuff nowadays. And we've got about 3 minutes.
Easy and interesting.
What
light do we all have? You, Ben, and I. Do we all have F7s?
Yeah, everybody has an F7. Like Aperture F7. Fucking F7.
You have to own one to watch the show.
We purposely left it off of our list because it was on every list we ever did.
Yeah. You have to pick up your F7, put a battery on it, pick up a camera, set a timer on your phone for 5 minutes, and walk into your bedroom and take a photo. Or so, I don't know, something.
Yeah. No, I like that.
That's a quick in and out. We all have the same gear to work with.
I like it.
I don't know.
Andrew 6'6".
Wow, person and a half.
6'8".
Yes, you are. Good
Holy
night.
mother. Andrew. Jeez. I'd be looking up. It's like Curtis Judd and Andrew Alvarez, and
that's
I'm done.
More than Curtis Judd. That's like approaching like definition giant.
That is actually, yeah. I was just on a show with Curtis a couple of weeks ago. I did a thing with him for an hour. That was fun. Yeah, it was great. We had a chat. Yeah, it was very nice. Chris has an F7. Who else has an F7 here? It should be the F7 challenge.
Or, in a small LED light.
Yeah.
Just something.
Yeah.
You all do just use a foam board, like poster board.
That's why Scott's always sitting down, because he's so giant. You don't want to seem so big. He's just hanging out in a chair with a cigar and like a snifter. So it's amazing. Take care, Roz. Good to have you here. And thinking of Ben doing amazing things over there. I think we're wrapping it up, kids. It's been a pleasure as always to hang out with you, Caleb. Any parting words before we go off into the sunset?
Not really. Keep your stick on the ice. Keep your film clean, and let's all give Ben a well-deserved high five and digital high five when he gets back.
Yes. And thank you, Chris, again. And by the way, just want to mention about Joy Division. There was not a lot of joy in Joy Division, but New Order, they found their joy. So there you go. If you know the history, that's the way it works, kids. It's been a pleasure, everybody. See you either next week or the week after. Get your film cameras out. Go create something and have fun doing it. Take care, everyone.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Love you. Bye.